We can help other people get over their own fears. A burst of Opie happy to be alive. Of 10 years began giving me drugs to hide her affair. Last 8 weeks, my wife had been giving me drugs to help me sneak out and have an affair. I found out about this on June 14, 2020. She would use a spoon to break up Ambien pills that were in plastic bags and mix them into my drink. Sometimes she would also add muscle relaxers. She used some kind of magic to move my unconscious body from the living room to the bedroom and into bed. I'm 250 pounds and 6 feet 10 inches tall. She changed her behavior and attitude about 2 weeks after the desired lockdowns. We had been married for over 9 years and were very happy. She started calling me names, manipulating me, gaslighting me a lot, and finally drugging me. He was having an affair with her at his home gym in the garage. She asked me twice during that time how to get life insurance in case something happened to me. In the months after I caught her and got the order to keep her away, my mom passed away. I've tried to post my story twice, but both times it gets reported and taken down right away. There were no rule breaks that I saw, but it might have been too long. I'm going to try to keep this short. I learned in therapy that one way to deal with this trauma is to write down the things I learned so that my pain has not been in vain. I thought someone might find it useful, so I shared it here. What you put up with will not only stay the same, it will get worse. Need and want are not the same thing. I want them, but I don't need them. Don't give up who you are to keep someone else. They won't appreciate you when you do a lot if they don't appreciate you when you do a little. In fact, they won't even understand why they'll hate you for it. People pleasers will give up things they want to do to make you happy, and they'll hate you for it. Being insecure leads to lying. Integrity, worth as a person should go beyond the partnership. You can't have a healthy friendship without them. Don't let anger, lying, and dishonesty take over your life. Jordan Peterson gave it to me, but I took it. People don't respect you if they don't follow your rules. You shouldn't marry someone you want to have sex with. Instead, you should marry someone you want to be with when you can have sex. Don't get married to someone who has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Get married to someone who has something to lose if the marriage doesn't work out. There are always talks in a marriage. Sex isn't important. Talking to people is hot. Not making mistakes is what makes you bad. Making bad choices over and over again after making mistakes is what makes you bad. Things are likely not as they seem if you think they are. You will only get what you expect from yourself. Some people seem to think that the words I use sound fake or strange. I'm sorry, it's hard to put into words and keep it short. I tried twice to post the whole story with all the facts, but bot mods took it down right away. I think it was too long, so I tried to cut it down as much as I could. I have a lot of proof. If you need to, you can direct message me. I don't owe anyone anything. This phrase, somehow managed to drag me, seems to bother a lot of people. The point is that she drugged me more than once, and I'm big. I have no idea how she always got me to sleep. Let's see how people in the area feel about this story. RiverZ11 says, OMG, your story is so horrible and scary. Are you able to press charges? That woman is a monster. DOP says, I live in a no-fault state, so it doesn't matter what she did, she should get half of everything. My lawyer made a separation deal for me that says I can keep the house, my savings, and other things. Her personal things, a car, and some cash are given to her. We agreed not to press charges if she agreed to the terms. She did it. This is either fake, or your wife is literally the definition of crazy, says Consistent Algae 230. Things like this happen more often than you think, says Haldarov and Hammer. Men don't talk about it as much because people tell them it's not real or that they should take the credit. The OP says, I wish. Recordings of confessions, restraining order papers, split agreement papers, and divorce papers are all picked by God. My friend, it did happen. Web822 says, the easiest way to explain it is that your wife was putting you to sleep and AP was carrying you to bed. It was hard for you. You should write more articles like this one. It would help people in these cases understand that cheaters can do anything. Many people will be saved by your wisdom. It's possible, but I have a Ring doorbell camera, and later I could look at her Google Maps data and see where she was going. No one who came to the house was caught on camera, only she was caught on camera leaving soon after being drugged. Whenever I woke up, around 3 or 4 a.m., she was already gone. Whenever I called her, she would lie and say she was just driving around or having trouble sleeping. I think she did it herself and then left. Rubik's EFT says, I knew someone who was going through a lot of the same things you are. Because he took so many drugs, the poor guy actually hurt his liver. His suffering lasted years, while yours only lasted 8 weeks. He died about a year ago from liver damage. You should see a doctor and get tests on your liver to see what, if any, damage your wife has done. Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that, says the OP. During the scary time and afterward, I saw a doctor several times. My mind and body were in terrible shape. I was stressed, had panic attacks, high blood pressure, low testosterone, heart problems, and other things. I've been to the gym and eaten only certain foods since then, and almost all of my health problems have gone away. I'm glad it only lasted a short time instead of years. I'm sorry to hear about your friend again. I am so sorry to hear about your mother. This sounds like a nightmare. What did you tell her when you found out she was drugging you? She even asked you how to get life insurance in case something happened to you. Oh my God, that's really bad. OP, I'm sorry. I'm glad you made it through that living. All that pain have not been for nothing. Thanks for telling your story and sharing what you've learned. This might give people who are going through the same thing more courage. A lot of luck to you, OP. I'm glad you're still here. Do you have a story like this? Write your answer in the box below. The next person is a cheater you don't want to bring home to your family. Yes, I looked through my boyfriend's phone and can't say why I did it. There was nothing that made me think he was cheating. He has always been the nicest, most loving boyfriend to me. He took care of everything for me, and we spent most of our free time together. I believed he was the ideal partner for me. Something awful, like a pit in my stomach that wouldn't go away, kept going through my mind. Well, I looked through his phone today and found everything I needed to see. His secret accounts on almost all social media sites let him follow half-naked girls and sometimes leave comments on their posts and stories. He also has an OnlyFans account where he pays women to shake their behinds while telling me he's broke and pleading with me to buy him things. He seems to have enough money to do that crap, though. To top it all off, he has profiles on Tinder and a few other hookup sites. I couldn't get into those accounts to see if he did anything with anyone, but the fact that they exist shows me everything I need to know. The note was left at my mom's house. I was going to see her today anyway, so he doesn't think I know. I feel numb most of the time. I have a pit in my gut that gets deeper every time I think about what I saw. I'm not able to cry, eat, or sleep. I feel angry with him, miss him, and hope it's all just a bad dream. That was 3 years wasted because someone couldn't keep it in. I will talk to him about it tomorrow and try to find out the whole story. But I'm pretty sure I will break up with him no matter what he says. I really just want to hide. Some people asked for an update, so here it is. Thanks to everyone who left a comment or gave me help, even if I didn't answer. That's why I was going to text him to break up with him and not pay attention to what he said. But since this morning, he sensed something was wrong and asked me straight out, "Are you going to break up with me?" I guess his sense of guilt picked up on something. When I said, "Yeah," he started texting me a lot and begged me to explain everything. After that, he came to my house. I chose to just listen to him. We talked for a long time. I'm not going to lie, it made me cry. I got angry with him and cried a few times. He mostly said what you guys told me he would say, though. He swore over and over that he had never cheated on me, sex with anyone else, or even planned to do any of those things. His Tinder page was just a way for him to find friends because he was lonely. He went on a date with a Tinder girl, but she wasn't old enough, so he broke up with her. That loser is so sad. Even though I don't have proof, I no longer trust him, and I will never forget what I saw. When I asked him about hookup sites, He said he didn't text anyone because he just liked looking at people. Yes, of course, like I'll believe that nonsense. Who are the OnlyFans? It looks like he only followed free accounts and never paid for anything. I don't see any reason to believe that again. In front of me, he deleted his porn accounts and blocked and unfollowed all the girls on Instagram. He also promised to see a doctor to help him deal with his porn addiction. Good, but we're done now, I told them. Stop calling me. I'm going to ask my mom to get all of my stuff with me at his place in a few days. No matter what, I'm glad we talked about this. He should know what a sad fool he is and why I'm dumping his butt. It felt better to know that everything is over and that we are no longer together. I also felt better after yelling at him. My heart is lighter now. Thank you all for your help. My family cried when I told them I broke up with my cheating ex. I lived with my mom and 9-year-old brother. I love them to bits and pieces. You could say they're my main rock through this whole thing. At first, they didn't believe me when I told them about the breakup. My family always thought that my ex-boyfriend was the right person for me and that we would get married one day. But after the shock wore off, they were very helpful, especially my brother. I was surprised that a 9-year-old could give me such wise and helpful advice. He even hung out with me the whole time and kept me busy. But I know they both love my ex too. My mom always makes him food and treats him like he's our own son when she has him over. And my brother needs a man in his life because he's being raised by 2 women, my mom and me. The guy loves my ex so much that he always asks when he's coming over. They hug, read, play computer games, and wrestle together. My ex-boyfriend has always been nice to my family. He brings them little gifts and pays attention. Because my family is so important to me, that was one of my favorite things about him. My brother was a little quiet in his room last night. I went in to see how he was doing. The breakup made him cry his eyes out, and I found him under the sheets. He's been there for me and helped me all day, but he broke down when I wasn't looking. It really broke my heart to see my little brother so upset. I asked my mom to help me comfort him, and I was shocked when she started crying too. They both talked about how nice my ex-boyfriend was and how much they miss him. So I've been thinking about it. I'll get through this breakup, but I can't bring myself to make a small child feel bad by taking away someone they became very close to. That's not his fault, and he needs a man like you to look up to. He was a jerk to me, but my mom and brother love him. I'm not sure what to do. I suppose I should tell my ex what my brother's Roblox name is so they can sometimes play video chat together. Also, I'd appreciate any tips on how to make this easy for my brother. When my brother was 6, his mom and dad got a divorce, so he was already hurt by his dad leaving him. For the reason that I don't want my brother to go through this again, I think it's important. I'm sorry this is how I learned about your ex. After you told him what was going on, he definitely told you lies and made excuses. It's not a good idea for anyone in your family to stay in touch with your ex. If they do, you and your ex might end up talking to each other or even getting back together, which isn't good. I believe it will get better as you talk to him more about it. That man is not at all a good example, especially since you want him to talk to your brother. You both deserve better. Stay away from people who are bad for you. Anyone have any ideas?